wrong, Juliet?
I want to get out and go back. I want to go to his house. I want to go now.
Where do you want to go?
Okay, what are we building?
Tower.
What's the strongest part of the tower?
Tower.
What's the strongest part?
Foundation.
The foundation. So let's put that there.
Put that there.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Put it side.
Okay. Good foundation.
Uh-oh.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. This is so far has a very solid foundation, Bowen. Here you go.
Thank you.
What are you doing? Stop. Baby. Stop. What's wrong? Are you tired? Stop, dude.
Okay, wait, start over, ready?
It's my phone.
Okay, so ready, go. Isabella, start.
A, B, C, D, E, I, C, A, L, O, B, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Nature versus nurture. Where do we get our talents from? Are people born great athletes, musicians, and scientists? Or are these learned skills? And what about people who are funny, depressed, or violent? Or people who have heart disease or cancer? For many of our characteristics, we would like to know how much of it is our nature and how much of it is how we are nurtured. When we talk about our nature, we are referring to our genes and how they have affected our health, appearance, and behavior. Our genes affect us at every stage, from embryo to adult, but they are not the only things that are affecting us. Our environments are also playing a role. In this case, nurture refers to our environments. Our environment includes the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, as well as our friends and family, and where we go to school or work. Like our genes, our environment has had an effect on us at all stages of our life, from embryo to adult. So, nature or nurture? Which one makes a great athlete, scientist, or musician? Which one determines whether or not you have allergies, heart disease, or cancer? Which one determines whether you're a thrill seeker, a hard worker, or an outdoor enthusiast?
The script that's written in our genes directs us from behind the scenes. The words within it shape life's destiny. Hidden in your DNA is your genetic dossier. It tells your future and your history. How traits get passed from parents to a child is something that has kept us so beguiled. Cracking the code, genetic mysteries to unfold. Cracking the code, genetic secrets will be told. Cracking the code, genetic cracking the code. Genetic secrets will be told. Cracking the code.
The script that's written in our genes has an alphabet of only 4 letters. It is the irregular and utterly unique sequence of these letters, 3 billion of them, that makes us human beings, and each of us, unless we have an identical twin, different from each other. We have now learned how to read, exploit, and even rewrite the genetic code within ourselves and all other forms of life. These explosive developments in genetics and biotechnology are bringing about a revolution in science, medicine, and agriculture. As it expands in pace and power, this revolution promises to bring even greater changes in the way we live and how we create new life. It will also present us with difficult new choices and dilemmas, and it is the subject of this series. Observation, as opposed to speculation, started with the breeding of animals, which began long before the Greeks. Over the course of time, farmers and shepherds noticed which traits were passed from either of the parents to their offspring, and gradually learned how to select out and crossbreed those animals with the most desirable traits. The crossbreeding of plants came much later. In fact, it wasn't until the 1690s that it was discovered that plants have sex organs and the ability to cross-fertilize. In the 1700s, the Swedish scientist and physician Carl Linnaeus undertook the monumental task of cataloging and classifying every known form of life. Linnaeus was intrigued by plant sexuality and categorized plants on the basis of their sex organs. To others, these were a source of amazement and even scandal. To some moral critics, so much pollen and so few seed chambers suggested female promiscuity. Linnaeus's lasting achievement was a two-part system for naming each species, which is still in use today. A major controversy among scientists of the time was whether species are unchangeable or whether they can evolve. Many botanists firmly believed in the biblical teaching that species were fixed at creation. Linnaeus disagreed. He was sure that crossbreeding two different plant species would produce a new intermediate one, but he didn't put his theory to the test. A contemporary of his, the German botanist Joseph Kuhlreuter, decided to settle the issue with the first true experiments in genetics. Unfortunately, much of his work was sabotaged by his disgruntled gardener, Saul. Kuhlreuter began by crossbreeding two different species of tobacco plant. These plants are called the parent or P generation. He then planted the resulting hybrid seeds, which is called the F1 generation. These seeds produced a new type of plant that retained some of the features of both parents while losing others. But the real test of whether this hybrid was a new species was if it could reproduce itself. In fact, cross-fertilizing the F1 generation produced only a few new seeds. Kuhlreuter was not surprised, since like many others, he believed in an unchanging nature. But he was surprised at what happened next. When he planted these seeds to produce the next, or F2 generation, some of the missing traits from the P generation reappeared. This turned out to be an important clue in solving the riddle of heredity. But Kuhlreuter